So it's a best of 7 this time around. And this guy spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, playing for Jin Air Green Wings. It's Cure.
And his opponent, he's looked real good so far. Winning both opponents, it is blue Terran player KeeN.
Yeah, it was a KeeN got a KeeN 3-1'd Nice, 3-1'd Haas, but now he's got to play a TvT, whereas Cure 3-0'd Solar and 3-0'd Fantasy, so...
That's true. Cure has a bit of a better performance here in Afreeca World 23 than KeeN has had, but that's why we play the games.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen these guys play yet. Who knows how it's going to go?
Yeah, nobody feeling brave enough to go for the proxy in game 1 here. Just both players keeping it very close to the vest. Identical builds walling off that ramp.
Yeah, it is Acid Plant, so not many proxies on this map. It's a very safe one most of the time. I mean, sometimes people proxy, but the average Joe does not proxy on Acid Plant just because there's not many places for Reapers to jump up. It's just the naturals really choked off, so generally does lean towards more macro play.
Absolutely. Both players are sending SCVs out, though, probably just for scouting purposes at this stage. It looks like they'll probably meet. Yeah, they're going to meet right about in the middle here. Hey, Bob. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, just two guys.
All the SCVs know each other.
Yeah, just two guys at the office, and yet we're pitting them against each other.
I know. How terrible are we?
These poor guys. These poor convicts locked in suits.
They really are. All right, SCV forcing them to drill into each other's suits. So terrible.
Oh, what?
Oh,
what?
Block. Engineering.
Is that
block.
BM? Does that classify as BM?
No. That's viable. It's a viable strategy. It forces Cure to build his command center inside the main.
I have never seen that in TvT before, but now KeeN's own CC is a little bit delayed, but that's so cute. Because, I mean, I guess, yeah, if Cure was to build this CC, he would have had to build it further, which maybe he's not comfortable doing. So, look at that.
No, I'd say KeeN won that. Cure has to float his command center over and land it, whereas KeeN's just right here right now. It's a small win.
I mean, did KeeN really win it, though? Because now he has an odd number of minerals. Well, an it's not in 5s. He's off by 1.
Yeah.
OCD
you know
alert.
What? That's probably going to screw him up. Absolutely
he's
true.
Just going to see that and say, gosh darn it.
Reaper versus Reaper battle. KeeN is winning it. Cure is running for his little
look
life.
at this. Cure's SCV. He says, oh crap, I'm trapped. I guess I'll go check it out. Sees the factory, sees the reactor. Oh, but here comes in the Reaper for Cure. KeeN's will show it to the door, though. But actually a second Reaper coming across the map for Cure, whereas KeeN does not. He actually elected just to go for that faster reactor, going for the Hellion, and there is a small window here in which the CC can be delayed. Alrighty, so a bit of payback
Reapers
there. Oh,
getting on in.
Oh, they may be
Marines.
a little overcommitted here, but we'll see.
Ooh, Hellion helping immensely there.
Okay, so let's see what went down there. 2 SCVs and a Reaper, and then a Reaper and 2 SCVs. A little bit of CC delay, but then Cures is still on the high ground. So I don't know. It's pretty equal. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, tiny worker lead here for KeeN. Obviously, we can see that the expansion's already up and running, and quite happily for KeeN as well. Whereas Cure is still not actually landing it. Now he's floating it over to his natural base, but it just feels a little bit late for him.
Yeah, it is. Now, there's 2 Hellions out for Cure, whereas KeeN, I believe he just made the 1 and started going into Cyclones, because he's actually getting out a Medivac for a drop, interestingly enough. So, and I'm a big fan of drops like this. Sometimes you just see them get so much damage done, but if they're scouted by the 2 Hellions, they do not, and they were just scouted by the 2 Hellions. Now this Hellion and 2 Marines going to have to micro against this, so a little micro battle going on at the front here. 1 for 1 so far, but it's going to be close. Now, SCV going to be able to repair, but Depot raised, so I think KeeN got the better end of that there. And now there's also a Banshee out for Cure, though, so...
With Cloak just about done. A Raven in production here, though. Ooh. I think the Raven should be able to be completed. But look at this! KeeN shows up with Marine and Cyclone.
So far.
Nicely done. The SCVs will help defend here for Cure. There are none for KeeN in this battle. Just getting some shots off, putting some fear.
Look at this, though. Picking off a few SCVs. Nicely done. And his Medivac can actually heal his Marines, too, so... But it's not going to be enough, though. Or, okay, yeah.
Oh, he saved it, though.
All right.
Nicely done. Banshee coming into the natural base. Going to get some SCV kills here. There's a Raven, but it's not quite here yet. Also, I don't know what anti-air there is. There we go. A couple Marines and a Cyclone. A Raven, come on, come on. You can do it.
Okay,
There we go.
only two
There's the
SCVs
Raven.
have gone down so far, and actually disables it. That's a very cute move.
Very nice. And then the lock on, gonna finish it off.
Yeah,
yep.
that's very nice there for Cure, or for KeeN, pardon me. But yeah, I'd say I like how KeeN's playing this out so far. Cure's just playing a little bit more standard, and KeeN's just getting to... KeeN's, I guess, the guy who's throwing things in a way, but Cure has also sort of taken a few small fights, which, I mean, they're just small fights, so it's not like it's a big deal. This game can definitely still go either way. Now there's a Banshee looking to come into the main base. Raven hanging out between the two bases, but now going to the natural, I guess maybe KeeN has a feeling, but it's a wrong feeling because there's now a Banshee that's going to be heading towards his main base. Turret's up, or getting up at each base, though, but... we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. Indeed, Banshee picking off more SCVs here in the main. The miss isn't yet.
Yeah, Cure's had
SCVs.
fantastic Banshee control this tournament so far. And now, okay, so third CC was on the way for Cure a little bit earlier, whereas KeeN, on the other hand, I mean, what has KeeN been doing? He didn't get up his own third CC, did he? No, so... he's just been making units, but not investing in that third, whereas Cure has. He's making Vikings, so that's his investment. I guess he got the faster reactor on his starport and whatnot, but we'll see. I mean, Cure, with the fast third CC, I'm not sure KeeN's going to be able to punish this.
Yeah, it's certainly not looking that way. Just a handful of Marines. He's really playing defensive. I do like scouting. He's got a Hellion running around trying to see if there's a third base up from Cure anywhere. He's not going to see it now, but he should be able to recognize what's going on at some point here. Does he know? Checking cameras? No, he doesn't know that there's an orbital command there inside the natural base for Cure, but he just did pick up a drop. He's heading on out.
It is bio out of both players, by the way. But it looks like KeeN will be trying to hit a timing here. He's got two Vikings, two Ravens. He's going to have the slightly quicker stim. Now, is KeeN just doing this off a single barracks? This is kind of ridiculous, right? Just like a one barracks push at the 7-minute mark. This is a pretty big commitment. This means that KeeN's going to have a lot of Vikings. He's going to have, or what should be a decent number of tanks, but he doesn't really work. I mean, he's getting his money into a third CC now, but yeah, I feel as if that's just a little bit too late. We'll see if he can push or not. No stim just yet.
No, definitely not. Tank count here is 3 for Cure and 3 for KeeN, as the dropped Cyclones are doing some work here in Cure's main base.
Yeah,
going
that's
after
very
Refinery
nice.
There. I like Refinery as a target. Slowing down the gas income of a Terran into TvT is fantastic.
Auto turrets and disabling there, going down on those tanks, and now KeeN's pushing in. I mean, he's got one of his own tanks set up, but it looks like that Cure will win out. I mean, he's going to lose all his stuff in the air, but KeeN lost all his stuff on the ground. Meanwhile, a Banshee denying the third CC of KeeN, which is actually huge. And,
yeah,
I mean,
picking off SCVs there too. The scan trying to get rid of it. Landed Viking tank, actually not bad. Not too shabby at all. And then picking up and getting the heck on out of there are those Vikings for KeeN. Third base for KeeN is finishing under construction here after being under attack just a little bit for a second there. And 58 to 60 Harvesters, 3 base to 3 base. KeeN's doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, KeeN's doing all right, but his third is a little bit later, and his upgrades are actually way behind too. And then his production's also pretty far behind too. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, load up going into the main base from KeeN right now. He's got, what's in that medivac? It's 2 tanks, actually. I guess he's going to land the Vikings to cover this. This is an interesting play here. So he's going to land the tanks into the base. This is kind of just like a why not move, I guess. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to do this, but he's going to try it out, and we'll... Is it going to work out or not? I mean, more Vikings coming in to reinforce, interestingly enough, in the Cure. He does have stim, though, so he may be able to break this. KeeN's going to want to land his Vikings if he's going to guard this. Vikings are going to take a fight. Auto turrets going down is going to help. SCVs are pulled into this. 8 of them falling so far. 9, 10. So these tanks getting some good shots off auto turrets. I mean, that 18 have now fallen. I mean, this is some pretty good damage on the side of Cure.
Meanwhile, Cure trying to get some stuff done down on KeeN's side of the map. He is retreating from that location. Landing Vikings base of Cure, though, as well. Tank here to defend, but 23 SCVs killed. Cure is up 70 to 49 Harvesters.
Yeah, I mean, KeeN definitely got some damage done there. I mean, with just 2 tanks and the Vikings, normally you need something to buffer, but I mean, Kier just had a tough time cleaning that up, and he's certainly behind now. I mean, KeeN's actually going to be taking the upgrade lead eventually on as Kier's 2-2, only just going to be coming down as this armory is on the way, but we'll see. There may be a counter push from Kier. He does have more supply, so we'll see if he's able to make anything work with that. KeeN's got to be ready for this right now, but is he going to be? I mean, this is a lot of bio that's coming in for KeeN, just a lot of tanks as well. So
6 tanks for Kier, 3 tanks for KeeN. That does not bode well for the blue Terran here. Sensor tower up.
Yeah, air control's actually a big deal,
scanning.
but combat shield for KeeN, he's diving on in, gonna try and pick off a tank. He gets one. So I guess it's decent. Yeah, I'd say that was a decent trade for the tank there, but he's still got to deal with this army on his doorstep with these Vikings as well. He's actually going to go for a counter drop, it looks like. And Kier is actually going to retreat. I mean, I guess he's not confident that he can push in.
Nah, he feels like, too many tanks, a little bit too entrenched there. It looks like KeeN is trying to drop at the third base of Kier again. He does have some action.
Look at this. This is a nice little bio run by. I mean, bio run bys are pretty good. They may be able to get the tank and the bio here. They've got medivac support. Oh, KeeN's going to go for it. He's going to focus down the tank, get that, and now engage the Marines. And they're just trickling in right now. Oh, looks like that Kier will have enough to clean this up, though. KeeN going to try and get out of there with the medivacs. Doing so, he'll also scout the 4th base. He's already planning another drop here. But,
Kier, big old push from Kier. Look at that line of units.
Oh, man. And, I mean, KeeN's armor will be a little bit delayed, so the upgrades are all over the place for both these guys. I mean, KeeN gonna have a 2-1 lead for a little bit, but then eventually Kier will have a slight 2-2 lead, I guess. So we'll see. I mean, a lot of plays can still happen in this game. Nice little drop coming out of here for KeeN. Gonna focus down that SCV. Actually cancels the CC, which is very nice. Meanwhile, KeeN building his next to his safer 3rd base. So actually gonna have the lead on that now. So, but looks like Kier may want to make something happen, but eating a tank shot, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Tank shots can definitely turn the tide in these battles, and a lot of tanks definitely will. But yeah, looks like KeeN pretty happy to just kind of sit up right now. He is moving out with a small forces. Those are Vikings. Vikings flying on out.
Oh, man.
Trying to see what they can do. Checking to see if there's a gold base being taken. No, also no force base there for Kier either.
Maybe just checking for drops or something like that. Because, I mean, that certainly is something in TvT which can bring you back into a game, a drop like that. But the army for KeeN is looking pretty formidable, but Kier does have a lot more forces on his side of the map, so supply-wise, pretty even, though, for both these guys.
KeeN being the one to be a little bit aggressive here. Kier is set up on that bottom edge of the map to make some pushing to see if there's a 4th base anytime for KeeN.
Yeah.
Winning a small engagement there, but there's enough defense there for Kier, but I'm not sure it's a good idea coming up this road.
Oh, that's actually a massive surround for Kier. KeeN's going for it. It's so ballsy, though. He's going to break onto the tanks here at the 4th base, but there's actually no 4th there because it was built not on location again. So, I mean, I guess a trade there, but now here comes Kier going for his own counterattack right now. There's tanks in position, but they're actually not quite in position. SCVs are already planned to be pulled for KeeN to deal with this. Tank's getting some shots off, but there's still 4 tanks separating his natural and his 3rd base, and his 3rd base is going to take fire. It's maybe going to go down. Meanwhile, KeeN having to bring everything home. He's going to save the CC from the looks of it, but losing some SCVs. Gonna have to clean this up. His reinforcements will be able to clean this up, and he may be able to collapse on top of this now, though. And he actually is. He's going to go for it.
From the south and the north here.
Yes.
And yes, he does clean it out quite handily.
Yeah, now Kier landing that 3rd base. Where's his 4th base? Okay, he's actually securing the one to the north, interestingly enough. That's something noteworthy, but now we'll see. Kier landing his 4th as well. So both these guys establishing a 4th. Both these guys relatively equal on supply. KeeN will have a significant +3 attack lead coming up here soon, whereas Kier, on the other hand, only starting as +3 attack, not +3 armor. And I mean, one fight's all it really takes, but it might just be one drop here, as KeeN's looking to go for a big old counter drop, but there is that hero supply depot for Kier. Will end up scouting it. The question is, there's all these Vikings in position, though. KeeN
full medevac down.
Yeah, I think that was full of tanks, too. That was 2 tanks in there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, both these guys still producing, but that shutting down that drop is absolutely massive for KeeN. Just thinking to keep his Vikings there. These guys are so on point with their defense, paying attention to what their opponent's doing. And now KeeN's looking to return the favor with his own drop. Oh, Marine potential run by may actually find this, so we'll see if KeeN's gonna react. KeeN's gonna find it. Another full medivac goes down 1-for-1. These guys. You can't pursue that into that planetarian tanks though.
Yeah, tanks especially causing a problem there, but
going
still
for
going
a drop.
for the
Gonna
drops.
unload at the third base if I had to guess here. Just gonna seize this position, but I mean, KeeN's coming on in. He's actually in time to respond to this. Tank's just getting set up, but yeah, that was not a good drop for KeeN. KeeN gonna absolutely shut that down.
Ow. Yeah, tried to make that happen. Lost several tanks in the process. He does have his fourth base up, but so does KeeN. Worker supply definitely favoring KeeN here. KeeN coming in for the counterattack. The upgrades are +2. +2 vehicle weapons for KeeN. KeeN still sitting on the +1, although he just started +2 on his side of the map.
KeeN planning another drop, but KeeN's just planning on KeeN's planning another drop. KeeN's just planning on attacking here. He's got Liberators and Vikings, so he has the air control, and he's up on supply as well. So for KeeN to deal with this, it's going to be very tough. I mean, he's pulling back into his natural, but what good's that going to do for him? He's going to go for a base trade, but his army is not that big. It's not really a base trade force, just 2 tanks, a handful of Marines. He's not going to be able to break the planetary. GG gets called. KeeN checkmates KeeN there. Takes the first game in the series after a crazy TvT.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy for him. We went into the 15, 16, 17 minute mark there, but just slowly winning engagements over time. The upgrades were good. The engagements are great. KeeN on that final engagement, dropping his tanks in position at the third base of KeeN did not go very well for him at all. And as a result, KeeN's counterattack was able to make it happen. And he's up 1-0 in this best of 7. It's a good start for KeeN. And PF Honey is quite happy.
I mean, KeeN did have to work for that. I mean, KeeN did have to work for that. KeeN didn't roll over that game a little bit closer than those earlier TvTs. So now we'll get into the next game. Thank you guys for tuning on into this Afreeca world. It's awesome to be casting another one of these events.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody here. PF Honey asks if I can speak and read Korean, and I said no. And he says it looks like you can. I don't know where that came from, but
not being able to. Yeah, I can't either. I've wanted to learn always, but like the nearest university or language center near me is an hour away. So it's like I want to learn Korean. I don't want to learn Korean that badly to sit through an hour of traffic to go. Alrighty, both these guys are ready. We're loading on in. Dreamcatcher, the next map.
Sweet, let's do this thing. A little bit more of an aggressive map. I feel like tank positioning is so important here on Dreamcatcher. So hard to hold a third base as well. We'll see how these players can do when there are tanks in each other's backyards or front yards.
Alrighty, but yeah, it's a best of 7. This guy spawning down the bottom right took the first map after a long game. It's KeeN.
And spawning in the top left, it is the blue Terran player, KeeN.
Okay, so we'll see. What are these two guys going to go for this game? I mean, keep in mind how that first game started. Or never mind, that was versus Fantasy. I was thinking of the proxy.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Never mind. Yeah, that first game started normally. It all blurs together, guys. There's just so much StarCraft.
And especially when there's so much Terran.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm having a tough time. I'm always getting KeeN and KeeN mixed up. I didn't get Fantasy and KeeN mixed up, but oh well, it happens. Now, build-wise, I imagine we'll see some Banshees. If I had to predict, we'll see a unit. KeeN's really been a fan of those this series, or this tournament, I guess I should say.
Yeah, definitely seems like it. Banshee pressure early, definitely a big deal. Nobody proxying again here on Dreamcatcher. There are some decent positions for proxying on this particular map, but nobody going for it at this time. Double gas, as is tradition, and just playing it standard, which definitely does seem to favor KeeN over time, but KeeN could have some tricks up his play sleeve. His play sleeve? Up his sleeve. I don't know where play came from.
Have a play up his sleeve? Who knows? So Kira is skipping that extra gas. They're going to be going for the very standard or the very more classical. I don't know what's standard in TvT. It's sort of a gong show. But yeah, Kira going for the Reaper expand, the standard build. Standard in TvT, not as much, but KeeN going for that double gas, which is fairly common. But interestingly enough, he's just mining out of. He's not going like full tilt on the gas. You're just getting both refineries.
Yeah, that's interesting. 1 on 1 and 2 on the other, which I don't seen before if I've noticed. So really wants to go for that mineral income over the gas right, which indicates probably a fairly quick expansion, although not as fast as Cure's. Cure's expansion is already on the way here, about 50% complete.
Yeah, so Kira going for the more macro-oriented build. KeeN maybe looking to put on some light pressure, perhaps, just by having the faster factory. It just comes down to a playstyle choice. It's also safer going for the double gas into the factory and then the expand, but it's not a massive deficit, but it's still nice for Kira. I mean, if time goes by and no damage is done on either front, it definitely benefits the guy who went for the better economy earlier on.
Yeah, that can really start to snowball, especially with mules, with, you know, extra cooldowns there can be exceptionally nice. But double Reaper coming across from KeeN, maybe trying to slow this down just a little bit. There's literally nothing Cure.
Is there literally nothing? Where's his stuff? Oh, his Reapers are out on the map. Reapers and units are out on the map for both these guys. Bunker actually going to force back the Reapers for KeeN. And now Kira's Reapers are going to be diving on in. And what does KeeN have? He doesn't actually have much on the way. This is actually going to be massive for Kira. He's going to be the CC, whereas KeeN isn't going to find much versus this Cyclone and Bunker. His Reapers can get in, maybe kill off a few workers, but it's going to be nowhere near this amount of damage. SCV is forced to be pulled versus Reapers. This is not good. This is just another one of those checkmate moves. KeeN trying to get something by getting his Reapers into the main base of his opponent, but 5 SCVs falling on KeeN's side of the map. That number's just increasing here.
Nice KD8 charge, picking off one of the SCVs here.
Another
one. Another 2 going to go down there. 10 killed this early in the game is just brutal. Cyclone setup at the natural base of Cure here. Reapers for KeeN still alive, man. Don't count these guys out.
Yeah,
although they're being chased and stalked by a Cyclone.
Doing a good job corralling them. They're a little bit trapped here. One of them will fall down. So 4-11, definitely in the favor. And the Reapers haven't actually died for Cure yet.
Wow, oh, man, that's incredible.
This is just feels bad, man, for KeeN, as there's just more for Cure. There's more workers, there's more units, and there's less Reapers in his base too, which is a plus.
I mean, that's the Terran dream, though. You show up with 2 Reapers at your opponent's base, and there's nothing there to stop you.
that's like my TvT nightmare. It's like, all right, I'll move out, and then it's like, why did you move out? Why'd you do that? You just sometimes in TvT you just get the short end of the stick. I mean, and that's just the way. Cure choosing the better build, I suppose, having the Cyclone back at home to defend, whereas KeeN sent out his defensive unit.
Yeah, it can really just come back to bite you. Sometimes luck is not on your side. So Cyclone's pushing here from Cure. 2 versus 1. The math seems to make sense here.
Oh, and this
additional
Marines. With the Marines. Yeah, I think Cure may be able to kill KeeN right now. He's pushing on up. That one Cyclone gonna need to be repaired here.
Yeah, KD8 charge, knocking those SCVs back. Another one ends up...
Another Cyclone does come in for KeeN.
Defender's advantage helping, but he's just focusing down SCVs right now. He doesn't necessarily care about killing the units, but at the same time, working out fairly well for him. Good micro, moving the wounded.
Oh man, it's going to be close.
Back.
5 SCVs have fallen. A Banshee's coming in for KeeN to the main base, but there is a Raven and a Cyclone to deal with this.
And Marines.
Oh man,
all right, that's going to get shut down.
KeeN not actually able to clear this out, so it's looking pretty rough for him. That Cyclone gonna get the lock off on there. Marine shooting down that Banshee. I wouldn't be surprised if KeeN honestly just GG's after this. He's in a very rough situation. 3rd base on the way for Cure here.
Yeah, KeeN's down about 15 workers as well. He's just, his natural base is on fire, literally. The attack didn't kill him, but it did a ton of damage to his economy. It didn't lose that many units. His Cyclone stayed alive. Some Marines died, but that's not necessarily the concern right now. Another Banshee flying on into Cure's base. It is a cloak, but there's a Raven. Where'd the Raven go? That's your good game. KeeN
doesn't matter. More SCVs falling on his side of the map. Cure now with a 2-0 lead. We may be looking at a new finals or new champion.
Yeah, a new king of the Afreeca world here. Cure is looking very scary indeed.
Alrighty, the 3rd map is going to be Lost and Found. Okay. We'll be loading on into the game in just a second here. I mean, this in a best of 7, this really is the match. It's either you go down 0-3, or you start your sort of comeback to try and even things up.
Which, it is a steep hill to climb. It's not a best of 5, so this isn't match point necessarily, but losing it would be critical, and winning it also critical, just in the other direction here for KeeN.
Alrighty, we're getting everyone on into the game. Okay. Everyone loaded on in, both these guys ready, go, 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 and we shall go, go, go.
Yeah, they're ready, we're ready, you're ready. Sounds like we have some Koreans in here that are speaking English for us, which is nice. Always good to see some communication there. Apparently somebody recommended that there are some apps where you can learn Korean. Lingodeer is a great mobile app for learning Korean.
Alrighty. Apparently we should learn how to read Korean because KeeN said wait. Apparently.
Oh.
Alrighty. I mean, he started an SCV, so he is around. But yeah, so that's a bit of a mistake on our front, but not being able to... I mean, we do need to learn how to read Korean, apparently.
Apparently what the wait is,
Because
anyway.
I think he said go, right? So, at some point.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows? Alrighty, but... yeah, this is being played live, guys, and yeah, I do want to learn Korean at some point. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like, if you're gonna do something like that, it's not something that you can really just do and then forget about. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna start learning a language, you gotta commit the time to it, and it's one of those things. I want to, but the plan is to eventually go to, like, if I ever move or anything like that, which I may do at some point, I will be closer somewhere to a place that I can learn Korean.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. I mean, it's basically immersion, right? If you're speaking Korean every day, you can't fall back on English. Your Korean's going to get real good real fast.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're just to do like an online class and then you stop doing it after like a few months, and then it's just something you'll forget right away. So, but yeah, either that or I'll just start laddering on the Korean server. That's one way. Because you know, if I start taking like a Korean class, I'm fully just gonna go online, and then go on to the ladder and be like, "Hello, do you understand what I'm saying?" And I'm like, "What is this madman speaking gibberish?"
Poor LaughNgamez on the Korean ladder. They say, "Who is this man speaking gibberish?" as they wreck you and place you in bronze.
Oh yeah. No, I think I've laddered on the Korean server like once way back in the day. I was like, oh, the Korean server's better, I'll go ladder on it, and I was like platinum at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no benefit from laddering on the Korean server when you're platinum. Unless you're like a high GM, there ain't much point of swapping servers.
Correct.
So yeah, we are just waiting for KeeN to be back. Maybe he was AFK. I mean, he started an SCV, so we know he's here to some degree. Or I don't know, who knows what he's doing, or maybe he needed to step away, but... yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning on into this Afreeca World.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Happy to see all 175 of you watching our TvT finals. Really happy to have you here. Happy to be on Afreeca as well. It's been a good 2 days of StarCraft as part of the World 23 event. And very excited to see how it's going to turn out. The Cure is just a monster, though. He hasn't dropped a map yet.
Yeah, that's very true.
Doesn't want to lose. Yeah.
I mean, he's looking good right now.
Absolutely insane.
Alrighty.
Okay, excellent. Here we go.
Now we're waiting for Cure. Okay, so we will get on into the game.
Excellent, excellent.
And we will resume. We apologize for that short little hurdle. We never actually did introductions. I'm sure we said their names a lot while we were filling the downtime, but hold on, this guy. Spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, playing for Jin Air Green Wings, it's KeeN.
On the other corner, it's the blue Terran player. His name is KeeN, and he really wants to win this game. So much need.
Yeah, this is important. I don't think we've ever had a reverse all kill in Afreeca world, if I'm sure. I know we've had like a comeback or two, but usually when someone's down against the ropes, they're down against the ropes for a reason. So making that comeback's pretty difficult.
Yeah, definitely. If you're down, it's because something's happening. All right, so again, nobody proxying. Come on, guys. For our own entertainment, throw down a proxy for us.
Yeah,
I want to see a planetary fortress rush. That's what I want.
That's a little bit ambitious.
Yes, it is.
Go on NA ladder if you want that.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, statistically, it doesn't work all that well, but fun when it does.
Alrighty. We are seeing double gas out of both these guys. Now, KeeN, I mean, if I'm KeeN, just keep doing what you're doing, and that involves not going for proxy Reapers. He's just really outplayed his opponents so far. He's playing at a very high level. Just, I guess, being in the presence of Maru and practicing very hard helps you do that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you're practicing TvTs against Maru every day, anybody else is...
Oh, yeah, you can... I mean, practice works both ways. I imagine when Maru was going to play TY in the GSL finals, he's like, all right, I'll practice versus my teammate KeeN a lot, and then, I mean, that helps KeeN become better and apparently maybe win Afreeca World.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Somebody, I mean, there's a fan of his, the Honey guy, in chat is a big KeeN fan and says he's on the brink of becoming, you know, getting to that top 8 status.
Oh, yeah, I've been keeping my eye on KeeN for quite a while. I mean, he stopped playing Overwatch. Well, he started playing Overwatch, and he was at the point in which I think he retired for like a time and just stopped playing StarCraft altogether, didn't qualify for the GSL or anything like that. And I mean, I don't think he still has qualified for the GSL in recent times. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, he's been winning online tournaments. He's been taking maps off people. Just one day, it's just like, oh, I check the results of some online tournament. It's like, oh, KeeN won it, and he beat. It's like, oh, he beat Sue and Zest. It's like, oh, so I guess he's looking good again. And he is.
He's legit. Yeah, you beat Zest and Sue. You are in a pretty good position.
I'm not sure if he did beat Zest and Sue, but he beat players like Zest and Sue. Those were just names I threw out. But yeah, he's playing at a very high level, clearly, because, I mean, KeeN's a consistent GSL level player, and I mean, everyone else he beat, destroying Solar.
And defensive Cyclone here to deal with this bit of a push from KeeN, dealing fairly well. It does pause the expansion. Same story on the other side of the map, though.
Yeah.
As both expansions are in mortal peril to attacks from the enemy.
Yeah, at least the SCV's building them are. I mean, looks like KeeN does resume building his a little bit sooner, but that's nothing significant there. Both these guys are resuming their buildings. This is why they make a Cyclone, because Cyclones deal with these Hellions, deal with these Reapers.
Yeah, Cyclone, incredible all-purpose early unit for Terran, especially in TvT. Really no reason not to have them here. I mean, you don't have to go nuts with them, but having one or two, you're never going to regret that.
KeeN was supply blocked for just half a second there. I'm trying to make his Marines as that CC was a little bit delayed.
Oh, off his game.
Hey, that CC. Players rely on that supply boost. But now we'll see what else KeeN's going for. And it's actually going to be a third CC here.
Yep, KeeN's going for a Raven. KeeN going for the more macro-style open tank production has begun as well for KeeN.
Yeah, I guess KeeN's probably going to be playing mech, because what you do is you make a ton of Cyclones, then you fall back onto a third CC and transition into mech, because Cyclones are a very good tool in order to sort of, they're very defensive. It's tough to push into Cyclones with smaller number of units. That's where they really excel. And I mean, they're also great at being aggressive if you're just churning out Cyclones like KeeN is. So it's actually a very nice transition if you're going for something like this.
Yeah, all-purpose, just all-purpose units, defensively, offensively, whatever you need. So here comes KeeN, looking kind of strong. The Raven could throw down an auto turret, an interference matrix, also potentially on the table here.
He can push into this tank here.
Yeah, the tank getting some splash damage on the clumped up units, and yes, KeeN recognizing, oh, maybe a free Cyclone though, but does manage to pull back to safety in time, and Stim getting started here for Cure, now back inside the main base.
Yeah, yeah, KeeN playing mech this game. I mean, it's not confirmed that he's playing mech. I just still think most likely it's going to be mech. But Cure playing bio as well, so it's going to be interesting because Cure's been the dominant guy, but he's also sort of been a very solid defense player, but he's going to have to put on the aggression if KeeN is going to be electing to play this mech style. But,
yeah, you absolutely can't just sit back and allow the meching player to do whatever they want for the 10 minutes of the game. I'm sure that Cure's going to get a scan in there, see exactly what's coming in from KeeN, and try to get that pressure on. He already is sending out. How do you get those guys out? On the left side here, he's got some purple stuff moving down.
On the left side.
Cure, the left side of the map. Oh, they're Reapers. Okay, that explains how we got them
Cyclone's waiting for him there, though. Oh, yeah, and yeah, left side and the right side. Cyclone in position, though. Nicely done by KeeN, forcing that back. And he is going into those factories, so it is going to be that mech play. But interestingly enough, the Cyclone's still containing Cure right now, but they're going to have to be shoot away, it looks like, by these tanks. It reaches that point in which they can't stay out on the map. I mean, looks like KeeN may very well try Cyclone for a Cyclone. That's a trade. I'm not going to say it's good either way or bad. It's literally the same unit for a unit, but yeah, now KeeN is going to be looking to secure his third base. So is Cure, but KeeN going to be going into that mech, building up that Viking count, and going to be building up that siege tank count as well. So I'm actually liking this for KeeN. This is how a lot of mech Terrans open up, and I'm a big fan of it because the bio player is really pushed to get damage done.
Indeed. Third base, well established here for Cure. The Cyclone's going to try to push in and threaten, but again, the tank positioning is just absolutely perfect for Cure. Going to be very difficult to do that. Raven just waiting with a whole ton of energy as well, if he's necessary. I don't know that he is at this point.
Yeah,
if he needs
for sure. Now,
he'll be there.
Looking at this, I mean, KeeN gonna retreat with these Cyclones. Good to see. They're very important defensive tools. They're really that buffer that the mech player needs while they get established. But yeah, I'm liking this out of these players, or I'm liking it out of KeeN really here. And now I see Nikki09 in chat says, "Who does the camera work for you guys?" I do the observing. I do setting up everything and the overlays and whatnot. So if any of that's terrible, you can blame me. But we do show StarCraft. But yeah, thanks. I don't know. We'll see. Now, that push is coming in, but it's important to note that Cure did get those 3 Cyclones there. KeeN kept them out a little bit too long, and 3 Cyclones could be make or break for this push because tanks and Marauders are coming on in now. And I mean, KeeN, the longer the mech player has, the more confident they are to be set up. Vikings get hit with an anti-armor missile. KeeN now going to have to make the hold. Going to have to pull some SCVs. Does he have enough buffer, though?
Yeah, he anti-armored those Vikings, but that wasn't really the target. Should have anti-armored there. The Vikings land damage mechanical. However, KeeN manages to escape with a tank and a Marauder anyway.
Yeah, KeeN lost 8 SCVs there, lost his Vikings, had to land them, and he also lost a few tanks, and this could snowball for Cure, and that is entirely because those 3 Cyclones out on the map. KeeN kept them out on the map for too long. If there was 3 Cyclones right there, KeeN has a perfect hold. I guarantee it. And so that's actually such a critical mistake there. You may say it's only 3 Cyclones, but no. Cyclones are tanky. The bio wouldn't have been able to focus the tanks. SCVs wouldn't have had been pulled. And now Cure's going for drops, and there's going to be less Vikings around in order to help shut this down. So we'll see. I mean, Barracks is going to spot this drop, but KeeN's going to have to react, but he's got less stuff. I mean, he is going to have Hellbats and Medivacs, which is actually really awesome to see how he's going to deal with this. Drop gets pushed back, but I mean, there's a chance that KeeN does stabilize, but he's going to be a little more vulnerable because of how that fight went.
Indeed. And yeah, that snowball potential is definitely real there. We'll see if it actually turns out that way or not. Cure just kind of dancing around inside the circles of the sensor tower, outside this. Got a 4th base coming up here too, down towards the right side and the south section. Still 3 bases for KeeN. Is he going to go for a base of his own or to sit on 3 for a while? And he's got a base under construction here, so 4th base just a little bit behind, but shouldn't be enough to ruin him in the long run here. So looks like KeeN is pushing out across the map a little bit here.
This is too ambitious, dare I say. I mean, catching this bio is nice.
Ooh.
Oh, but look at the rest of this bio coming. Yeah, KeeN, I mean, pushing out as the mech player is so risky. versus a bio player. I mean, mech, you just want to get a maxed out army. I mean, it can have very strong pushes, but you don't want to be moving out as the mech player versus this much bio. KeeN's got to play defensive here.
Indeed. And he looks like he recognizes the threat these Marauders are out on the map. Head on. Just a little bit. Vikings trying to see, is anybody coming in? And yeah, we'll scout this bio coming up the ramp a little bit, poking.
Alright, but KeeN, he's looking to get set up, and I mean, he is reaching that comfortable stage in which he's going to be able to have enough tanks to cover most of his locations. He's got the high Viking count once again, but KeeN also has been going on the Viking count. There's really, I guess, two ways to deal with a meching Terran. You've got the choice of, you can, well, there's a few ways to deal. It's StarCraft. There's a lot of ways to win the game. But my main point that I'm making here is that you can either match the meching Terran in air and win out that way by picking off the air, having Liberator control, things like that. You can also do it by being extra greedy. Kier's gotten up a 4th base. I'd like to even see a 5th base soon. Or you can do it by all-inning, and Kier hasn't all-inned. He pushed, but it didn't work, so he's really got to fall back on just trying to beat KeeN in the air, and then I'd say also be greedy while he's doing it. I want to see a 5th base here.
Yeah, indeed. In the situation where you're the bio, having those extra bases allows you to max out faster, allows you to replace units faster. It just allows you to be in a better position because you can't straight up just walk into the mech army and take it down. You got to hit the edges. You got to kill bases. You got to do the periphery type stuff.
Now, Hellion run-bys are always a threat that KeeN is looking to go for because, I mean, you got to defend his Terran, and Terran does not have, like, idle static defense that they can build anywhere. They get planetaries, but Hellions can go behind the mineral lines, and if you want to have those orbitals, you gotta, well, I mean, they don't defend their workers, so KeeN, I mean, Kier has to be careful. I mean, he wants to put pressure on the meching Terran, but he doesn't want to leave himself open because that's really how mech can snowball, by beating down the bio player's economy as well.
God, Kier is building 3 command centers at once right now.
This makes me happy. I mean, he's in no danger of KeeN pushing because KeeN is turtling up, and if your opponent is defending, you macro up. If your opponent's attacking, you defend. There's obviously that whole rule set of StarCraft, but yeah, KeeN, or Kier, pardon me, doing the right thing. Playing it safe. He does have to be careful of this attack right now. A lot of Hellions coming in, and this is a lot of Hellions. There's a tank. Liberator's going to get set up, and SCVs die to Hellions when there's this many, no matter what. So 14 SCVs going down. But, I mean, if we look at this, Kier, he's still on 64 workers. He's getting up a ton more CCs. Going to want to finish those up, and yeah, I mean, you can afford to lose a few SCVs, but it's also important to note he's going into mass Viking production while this is going on. These guys are going to be having a big old air battle.
Yeah, 5 Vikings at a time. Anti-armor missile is going to come into play for sure here. These are my favorite kind of TvTs, when you just have the Sky Terran armies kind of flying around, dancing around. Who can get the anti first? Who can maybe pick off a Raven for your opponent? Really gets interesting here. Hellion trying to deny the landing of this base by Kier. He'll be able to do it for a little bit, but eventually should be chased away.
Yeah, this is my favorite kind of TvT to watch, not to play. It's just too stressful to play because one misstep, you eat a ton of tank shots, or one bad engagement, one bad drop, something like that, and it's all over. So these guys have to be on their toes this game. They're both trying to size each other up, figure out what's the best way to win. KeeN, pardon me, is actually opting to move out. KeeN is quite an aggressive Terran, so moving out's being pretty ambitious because now look at this. He's actually out of position here for this move-in that's going to be coming in for Kier. So Kier may be able to get a good angle here. There's only 2 tanks here. And so we'll see. How's KeeN going to come on in and deal with this?
All right, we got the air versus air anti-armor missile going down all over KeeN's stuff here, taking severe damage from the Vikings. The air belongs to KeeN right now.
Yeah,
Kier's air advantage is completely toast.
Kier tried to fight that air army, but that concave with the Vikings, that anti-armor missile, so that was a good fight. And now Kier is going to be in trouble because when a mech player wipes the bio Terran, KeeN's just going to be able to remax. I mean, resources lost has been fairly even so far. Kier is behind, but as the game goes on, I imagine we're going to see it go more and more in the favor of KeeN. KeeN now was trying to secure a 5th base as well while this was going on, but a Marauder was there to scout it. Nicely done by Kier, denying that. As
indeed.
KeeN
fantastic
will want
play.
a 6th base at some point. But yeah, now the entire air army did go down for Kier, so he's going to remax on that. He's not going to be making too much more bio because eventually it does just come down in TvT to who has the better air army. Everything else is sort of secondary. So, I mean, it is going to come down to who has the better air army.
Yeah, air superiority always been important in TvT since the beginning of time.
7 Vikings on the way for KeeN at a time. He's also getting his +3 ship weapons and his +2 vehicle weapons because he's been taking this I'm going into air thing seriously for a long time because he knows, and upgrades are a big part of that. So the fact that he's heading into 3-2 is a big deal here.
Yeah, upgrades are going to be a huge part of this engagement here. KeeN moving out, spotted.
Yeah, this Bioforce can always try and find something. I mean, tanks are really needed to deal with Bio. I mean, as the air army isn't the best at doing that, but the ground army for KeeN is going to be moving out. He's going to be looking for some blood right now as he is maxed out, whereas KeeN is not. Now, we'll see how the air fight's going to go, as KeeN has been making a lot of Vikings here. There's Liberators for KeeN, but we'll see. And it's actually worth noting that KeeN is going to have a significant air upgrade advantage. He's going to have +3 ship weapons versus only +1.
All right, that 4th base is under assault. It is going to fall here. I really don't think KeeN's in a position to save it.
Just buy time with a repair, but he's not focusing on that right now. He's just focusing how to take this engagement. Oh, there's the repair, but it's a little bit too late. Is it? SCV is going to keep it alive.
Yeah, they got it. They're fine. If they start the splash damage hurting a little bit here, though.
Hell, that's going on in. Still, good hold by KeeN. Buying time there. SCV is giving that planetary their big hug. The hug of life. Now, we're going to see this air fight happen eventually. I mean, a good number of Ravens are in here for KeeN. Liberators will deal tons of splash damage if these Vikings get hit by anti-armor missiles. So KeeN's going to need to split these Vikings well. He can't just clump up and take a fight. You got to dodge these anti-armor missiles, and he's looking for it right now because this air fight is everything. KeeN's going to go for it, but I mean, his army's still pretty clumped up. Anti-armor missiles going down on everything. Well, it's so tough to call here, though.
Wow, so much Dorito dust right now. Can't tell who necessarily, but KeeN looks like he's doing okay. Viking versus Viking is all that's left. So this coming in from KeeN. Defender's advantage kicking in, and KeeN wins that air battle.
He took this air army very seriously, and KeeN, it was sort of secondary for him. He thought he had won it, but no, KeeN came back stronger with even more air units, and now he did push back that ground army. He's able to pursue with his bio.
And by pursue, we mean go back home. I guess he's kind of worried about a slight attack here coming up that left side. There are some Hellions running for KeeN. A Liberator setting up 2 at one of the bases of KeeN's. Blue Flame, the Infernal Pre-Igniter, doing massive damage to those light units that are the SCVs. KeeN happily mining from this base up north, no big deal to him. And finally, the Hellions getting cleaned out there. All right, so working on +3 vehicle and ship armor here. Yeah, plating rather is KeeN. Working on +3 ground vehicle weapons is KeeN. The upgrades are all over the place. Extremely important for both of these players. Making 3 Ravens at a time is KeeN. Is a little bit interesting here.
Yeah, I mean, Ravens really help swing those air fights. They deal lots of damage. They can throw down auto turrets. Now, we may even see battle cruisers at some point. I'm not going to make any promises, but it's a possibility as these guys are both really going to focus on this air fight. Now, KeeN, it's important to note he's been down on workers a long time, and I mean, 49, I mean, it's fine to lose workers when you have a bank when you're maxed out, but he has lost a fair few of these workers, and that has slowed his remax here.
Indeed, but he'll be fine. We'll get back up to that remax sooner rather than later, I assume, before this game is over. But KeeN's been allowed to expand quite nicely. He's expanded 2 or 3 times since he started on those 3 bases. Hellions running up north here again. That 3rd base has been the target of choice for KeeN here, but ready for it this time is KeeN, chasing those guys away. Get on out.
That's right, get on out. And KeeN has been remaking a few more SCVs, so he's now heading up more towards 60, which is always good to see, realizing that he needs a boost to the economy. He's also securing the space to the left-hand side. Already secured it, got a planetary there, turrets on the way too, so if KeeN wants to knock that out, he's got to take a significant blow towards it. So yeah, I mean, KeeN, he's almost maxed out. We could see another one of these moments in which it comes down to a big fight, and a big air fight at that nonetheless. The counts right now, KeeN has more Vikings, but less Ravens. He's got a few more Liberators, so it's going to be tough to see who's going to win, and the positioning really will come into play here. Alrighty, let's see. How's this fight going to go? A few Liberators being picked off.
Yeah, looks like KeeN's got a handle on this. That's the second base that he's killed. He did kill that PF previously. He gets the orbital command replacement here. And here comes Cure from all angles.
Oh,
Left
this is a
side,
nice
top
fight.
side. He doesn't want to... Oh, the anti-air
Oh, man.
armor missiles, though, over everybody. Everybody is Dorito right now, so no advantage whatsoever. Tank's trying to kill what they can here, but it looks like Cure's going to win the battle. He just has too many Vikings to KeeN's down here in the south, and reinforcing Marauders coming down just to make sure that KeeN is forced out of this area entirely.
Yeah, something to note that was important in that fight there. I mean, we saw that KeeN, he had like 5 Ravens, but they don't do that much damage, and whereas Cure just had a few more Vikings, a few more Liberators, and I mean, the one Raven that Cure did have, it got off perfect anti-armor missiles, so the effect of his 1 basically did what KeeN's 5 did, and that's why he won that air fight. Now he's able to push across the map. Whether he'll be able to break this planetary is a different story, because there's a pretty good defensive setup here for KeeN. He's going in, and I don't think he can. He's got to pull back there.
Yeah, there's too many tanks there, too much defense to get picking off an additional Marauder as he tries to pull back to safety. Vikings, again, air superiority is a really deal. Anti-armor missile, again, helping here. A nice hit there from KeeN, though.
Yeah,
as well.
Looks like he may re-secure this air.
Yeah, and then suddenly the tide is turned again. Reinforcing Vikings showing up for Cure. They are full health, which is really nice. Some Hellions getting caught out. Concussive Shell killing a couple of them before they can manage to get on out of here.
Cure finding the space of KeeN will be very nice for him, but he's still down on supply. Got to be careful if he kills this base off. Yeah, he wants to make sure that he finishes that. This may force an air fight, though. You got to be careful as Cure.
Yep, KeeN thought about pursuing those Ravens, decided not to. Scan and saw the defensive Vikings there out of Cure, and we're this close to seeing every base on this map being taken, which is absolutely bonkers. Lost and found, man. We really enjoy the macro games on this map a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, look at this mule hammer that's been dropped on this base here. There's just mules mining all over it.
Remember when Blizzard was like, you can only call down mules from the base command list?
Did they say that at some point?
For about 10 minutes, and then they were like, just kidding, never mind.
Yeah,
it was in a balance test map.
Was it? I know they made it so that mules would automatically call down, I think.
Yeah, they did that back when they were automating all of the macro functionality.
Yeah.
Injects were auto, Chrono Boost was auto.
Mules could mine gas too. And mules,
yeah,
mules got nerfed overall a little bit at the end of the day, and Terran was like, well, all right.
All right, I guess we're back
to
normal.
A very fair thing that was done, though, was they made it so that multiple mules couldn't mine off the same patch. Because that was a little broken when 30 mules could be mining out a base at once. Now it's just 8 at a time.
Right. You'd mine out a base in like 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Let's go. Awesome. 10k minerals. Sweet.
A little bit overpowered.
Yeah, Terran would just consume everything.
Yep. Cure's got a pretty nice gas bank up here, which should help him in remaxing if he does end up getting in another one of these battles where he seems to necessarily come out way ahead. But KeeN kind of wants to force this a little bit. Setting up here just outside the range is Cure, waiting for reinforcements to come in. He's building up another command center. Look at this. He's building another one here. He's got orbital commands all over the place. Anti-armor missiles coming down both on the north and the south side here.
On the south going well for KeeN there. And now his Liberator's getting massive shots off on the Vikings of Cure, but Cure kiting back. Looks like he may have won out. I mean, it was looking good for KeeN, but Cure eventually seems to have the better air army there, and now we'll see how are these guys going to remax. Both of them got pretty good banks so far, good incomes. Overall, though, it looks like that Cure has secured one more base, and he's actually got some bio into the base of KeeN. Gonna pick off his starport, gonna deny a Raven there, dealing a little bit of damage, being a nuisance with this small chunk of bio. It's not gonna live too long. But okay, yeah, KeeN taps out. I guess he figures that he can't contest the air army and Cure. He was down a base, so alrighty, GG gets called. Very well played. Cure takes the 3-1. I wasn't expecting a tap out so soon because Mech is the StarCraft equivalent of a cockroach and won't die, but KeeN realizes that his number's up.
And he saw the writing on the wall and decided to head on out.
Okay, next map's going to be Dreamcatcher. Or no, we've already seen Dreamcatcher, pardon me.
Indeed we have.
Thanks to everyone for tuning on into this Afreeca world. I mean, it's going to be tough for KeeN to get the reverse all kill, but otherwise we may have a new Afreeca world champion who's just looking incredibly good.
Yeah, he in every matchup too. He's looked amazing against Zerg, Protoss. No, has he played a Protoss yet? No, just the Terran, right? Yep, Zerg, Terran. So he hasn't beat a Protoss, but I'm sure he'd look just as good against that particular race.
Yeah, I mean,
well.
you know, if you're looking this good, you're pretty all right in at least all of your matchups.
Yeah.
Although who knows, maybe Kier just breaks down into tears when he plays Protoss.
His win rate's like 16%. Like, how do you
just
do
cries
this?
when he queues up on ladder.
It's like, boy, it sure is lucky I didn't have to go up against a single Protoss in this tournament. Way to go.
Maybe that's the thing. Although I mean, Protoss made Terran worry a fair few days, but Terran definitely has their tricks these days in order to hit Protoss. Ah. Okay, map 4 is actually going to be Cerulean Fall, pardon me.
Oh, okay.
We already played Acid Plant.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get everyone into the game. I feel as if we'll see a proxy this game. I apologize to everyone.
I hope so.
Not close Steam, and therefore there was pinging.
Ah. Don't.
It's fine. We make it almost through the entire tournament, and then it's just pudding. Like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, every once in a while, a Discord bloop will come through on one of my casts, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's why I use the Discord desktop. I usually just use the browser unless I'm actually casting, just for all the text, and then I just close the tab. No worries there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it does. If you're running in a game, it generally recognizes you're in streamer mode for you and silences itself, but sometimes it doesn't figure that out.
Okay, no nice apparently, so.
Hmm.
Alrighty, but his
right.
comrade says go go. Or no, there's nice.
Oh. Wow, Extra's all ready to leave his buddy behind.
I think
nice.
they're casting together, so that would be a bit awkward.
Just like, nice is gone. I'm solo casting from now on.
Alrighty, but we're loading on in. It's going to be Cerulean Fall, a big map here.
Yes, really, really big map. Not actually conducive to proxies, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, not really. No,
we will see.
Kier is amazing, I agree. Are you that guy? There's a guy on, I think it's Team Liquid, or is it Reddit? His name's literally like... I'm not sure what his name is, but all he does is post about Kier the player. He's like such a Kier fan. And he's probably losing his marbles right now. Spawning down on the bottom left-hand side of the map, playing for Jin Air Green Wings. It's Kier.
And spawning way up in the top right-hand corner, very far away, is the blue Terran player. It's KeeN.
Alrighty.
We made it. We made it here to Game 4 of this best of 7 Cure. No proxy. Come on, man. Help us out, guys.
It's Cerulean Fall. We can't see a proxy on Cerulean Fall.
No, it's totally doable. You just have to believe. And yeah, you're right, though. Definitely not.
I see it being said in chat that I jump around a lot while observing. That's true. I'm trying to work on my observing, but it's not as simple as following just one unit in chat. Because, like, StarCraft units die, they get left sitting somewhere. You got to look all over, and if you want to actually see the full picture of the game, you do have to be jumping around, but I will try and make it a bit smoother.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is I generally hear people request for a little bit more attention to the map and bouncing over, watching what's going on rather than staring at one place. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just one person's opinion. Can't really
I know there is the whole professional observer thing in which they're like I'll follow NSCV as it crosses the map at a minute 30, but when there's a professional observer for a tournament, they basically jump all over the map. They try and catch most things, but they do it a lot smoother than I do because I'm just trying to cast while observing, and that makes it a little bit more tricky.
Exactly. That's
hey,
the
we see the
difficult
whole
part.
games, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. I mean, if you're casting and observing at the same time, that is way harder than just having a dedicated observer in all these tournaments that we do see at the high levels. So generally have to understand that you're not going to get perfect observing in this situation. We're doing what we can, and I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, Reaper heading out for KeeN. Zoom way across this huge map. Got a Reaper waiting for him for Cure. Expansion on the way here for Cure 2. KeeN is not going for his expansion quite yet.
Yeah, the second Reaper makes me a little bit worried for Cure. I mean, Cerulean Fall is a big map, but it really depends how this Reaper fight goes. I mean, high ground for Cure. Obi-Wan says, I have the high ground. The Reaper sends him away, but yeah, there may be a time in which the two Reapers group up, but Cerulean Fall is a big map, so he actually doesn't have to be too worried. The Marines and Cyclone will be popping out. I mean, that's the thing. It's ultimately the how many Reapers should I build in TvT? It's honestly random. It seems at times every pro player plays differently almost every match. But this is where Cure does have to be safe. But Cerulean Fall, a bigger map. The CC's done by the time this second Reaper and Hellion gets across the map. Now there's the Marines are done as well in time. And actually loses a Reaper.
That's going to shut that down fairly quickly.
Yeah, well, the Cyclone's going to come out and that just says, get out of here. So, yeah. Pretty nice opening for Cure. I mean, if you're playing a TvT on Cerulean Fall, I think Cure does have the better build, but we'll see. KeeN's probably going for a Banshee if I had to guess, and I mean, Banshees can always get something done.
Yes, I haven't seen a Banshee come out and get literally 0. So it's, whether it pays for itself is another question, but with the Banshee play for both of these players has been pretty fantastic throughout this entire tournament.
Yeah, Cure just playing really well with the Banshees. Okay.
Yeah, and both players just kind of setting up a little ragtag group of defense there. Marine, Reaper, Cyclone, Marine. KeeN deciding to head on out again. He really needs to know what's going on. I mean, if he loses a Cure in Game 4 because he didn't see something or miss something really obvious, I bet he would feel pretty upset with himself. So good job of moving out, being the aggressive one, being the scouting one. Trying to see if there's a third base anywhere, maybe something insane like that from Cure, but really nothing to see. Just got to make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, I was actually talking about how it may be a Banshee, but no Banshees out on the map just yet. Both these guys going for a Raven. I suppose that's because it is a larger map, so the Banshees take longer to travel. They don't hit that as crisp of a timing, and then it also just does come down to the mind games. So both these guys just being very safe here. Looking pretty similar in the builds overall. Cure does have a bit of an economic lead just because he did open up with the Reaper Expand, whereas Cure went for the double gas, so. Alrighty. Double Viking on the way for Cure. I mean, it's possible we see a 2-base move out from Cure here because he is making tanks, he's making Vikings. That's what you need to really choke out your opponent's natural. It's a tough kind of push to make work, but he is scanning his opponent and seeing that, seeing nothing too telling.
Yeah, nothing too nuts here at all. Going to start double pumping Vikings, it looks like, landing on the reactor there. Trying to go for that air superiority early. Yes, immediately 2 Vikings on the way. Both Cure and KeeN trying to make that happen. And KeeN decides, or Cure rather decides, it's time to move on out here. Reaper taking the advantage to go hop in and see if he can get some scouting done in the main base of Cure, but instead gets shooed away there by a defensive Reaper. Or Marine, rather.
Yeah, I believe the Hellion also died, but it did scout the army, which was important. So he's aware this is here, and now there's 2 Ravens for KeeN to be defensive, and he's actually he's repositioning here.
Okay.
Yeah, it wants. I mean, both these guys are on similar productions, so it's possible that he just takes a better fight versus Cure right now. Yeah, Cure's not really ready. He was planning on being the guy attacking, but he's down in an army right now, so he's gonna have to retreat, tail between his legs. He's gonna try and stand and take a fight here. We'll see how it's gonna work out. Oh, anti-armor missile, pretty huge
on everything. But KeeN has a lot of stuff going on now. That
yeah, good state. Yeah, very well. Now, Cure's retreating here. I mean, KeeN's got a pretty good army. It's going to be tough to push up this ramp, if I had to guess. Third base on the way for Cure, whereas Stim is on the way for KeeN. That's the bit of the difference here. But Viking is going to help shoo part of this away. So, yeah, a nice little trade there for KeeN. And,
Yeah, he's up. He's up 10 supply. He's got his third base going down. He's feeling pretty happy about that. That was a nice little decisive move. I think a lesser Terran player would have sat back in his natural base and waited for Kier to come to him from the high ground. But he decided, you know what? Kier's not ready for this. Goes down the ramp and makes something happen. What a play.
Yeah, KeeN was like, wait, we have the same stuff, and I have the defender's advantage. So naturally, it just worked out better for him. So that was pretty ambitious of a move out by Kier. But he is securing his third base. KeeN's starting his on location, though. So there'll be a little bit of a lead for Kier there, but nothing too major. He's also now lurking outside of Kier's base. So.
Very, just, you know, not too close, not too far away either. Just wants to make sure he'll be prepared if Kier tries to move on out.
Yeah,
and
but
here we go.
KeeN may actually be going for it. I mean, he's got a very high Viking count. The Viking count actually on both sides at 6-7 in the favor of KeeN, and there's also a Raven, which is a huge deal. I mean, the Vikings are forced to land, but look at this. He's going to engage some of the tanks. SCVs are pulled here. Oh, it's going to be close on both sides, I guess. But
okay, but the tanks they come out of it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so sick by Kier, just making that split-second decision. And look, there's even a mule for Kier hugging the one tank of KeeN.
Thought it was a repair for a second, but
yeah,
nope.
I did
that
too,
was aggressive. Hang on, mules don't have attack.
They don't. I think he was pulled off with the SCVs. I mean,
okay,
he was just dragged along there.
He's like, Commander, I don't have an attack. What are you telling me to do?
Kill them with kindness.
Right. Make KeeN throw down his weapons from love.
Now we'll see. I mean, Kier lost a few SCVs there, but if we look at the count now, it's pretty much dead even. Upgrade-wise, KeeN has a bit of a lead, but we're pretty much at a completely equal game at this point.
Yep, KeeN had the lead there. The last engagement did not go as well for him. Fortunately, Cure with that 3-0 is just so intimidating right now, but yeah, KeeN is not dead by any stretch.
Yeah, I mean, with that attack, I was thinking that KeeN may be able to put a point on the board and at least show us that Kier can bleed, but apparently not yet. Kier's not ready to give up his god status just yet in this tournament. Now, Sensor Tower going to be picked off. I mean, Sensor Towers are expensive. So that's a nice pick off for Kier. Now, whether this move out is going to really accomplish too much is a different question. Because, I mean, KeeN's set up very defensively. He's got, obviously, that defender's advantage. And also a Liberator coming in here. Looks like Kier going to be forced to focus that down. Nicely done, though.
Yeah, picks off the Liberator after he gets maybe one shot down. This third base is in incredible amounts of danger right now. Defender's advantage will be here. Reinforcing Vikings for KeeN can show up faster than they can show up for Cure. But, what's Cure trying to do here? He doesn't like where he's at. He's pulling back on up. These Marines were going for a bit of a surround. And KeeN repositions his tanks as well. So he didn't quite like what he saw there for Cure. Fourth base now coming in on location for KeeN. And yeah, just being very cautious here is Cure.
All right, yeah, I mean, Cure's got a very strong army, though, but so does KeeN. I mean, it's pretty close on both fronts. Tank's getting some nice shots off for Cure, but it looks like KeeN maybe going to take the air fight. It's actually going to be close, but yeah. KeeN will take that air fight. Maybe get the Raven as well. That's a nice pick off there. Just getting any bit of value. That really sums up how Kier is playing this game. Even when he is losing, he's sort of just getting nice little moves in. It's not like he's just straight up taking bad engagements or things like that.
Exactly. Picking off that Raven was a fantastic example of that one. Got the high ground, but the tank count is getting pretty for KeeN. Down there at the third base, working on +2/+2 for his bio is KeeN. Same story for Cure. Both players are working on +1 vehicle weapons as well, and back in Viking production is Cure, whereas not so much concerned about that is KeeN, as he already has 4 out and doesn't feel like adding to the total quite yet. PF Honey has changed his alliances. He wants KeeN to win this one so we get more games.
I mean, we can't argue with that. Oh, the tanks are at all but one tank is unsieged, so I don't think KeeN's going to be able to push in there, but he is looking for damage out on the map with this drop. Yeah, we'll see.
Single scouting Marine picked off. KeeN pulling back. Yeah, fourth base now under construction here for Cure up along the left side there. Man, this purple is hard to see on a lot of these maps.
It can be, yeah, but it is Cure's color. I think he's almost always purple. Although,
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. We can't argue with that.
Nah. Not going to tell him to be a different color, but seriously, observing is hard sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I know on the darker maps it can be a little rough, but we'll see. Pretty big army for KeeN. Cure, though, not far behind in that regard. 3-3 on the way for KeeN. Cure not started his, so there it is. I mean, these guys, I mean, the fact that his is a second late, it's very, very not likely to affect things. So we'll see. I mean, looks like KeeN's moving in on this fourth base. It's not quite a planetary yet. There's one tank set up, but looking at this, KeeN sees his moment, and he's going to go for it. Maybe kill the base. I mean, Cure cancels the planetary, but it's not like he was able to lift off there. Oh,
no, that base.
Cure taking some nasty tank shots, too. Meanwhile, this drop getting planned at is natural from the look of it.
If he got that off, it would be massive.
Oh, these two Vikings actually looking for it, but they're going to show up on the wrong side of town. That's not a good surprise.
Nope, Vikings down, Medevac's alive, and now KeeN's like, oh yeah, I have these units.
That's a bit ambitious. Okay, yeah.
I don't know about unloading there. There's already...
I understand wanting to try that, but that did not go his way. But still, he killed off the fourth base of Cure, which is absolutely massive. And Cure's not rebuilding this either. He's just accepting that he's on 3 bases for now, whereas KeeN's mining on 4. So you may just get your wish, PF Honey. It's looking pretty good for Cure. Or for KeeN, pardon me.
It is. Man, both these players' names start with a cuss sound.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I've been making that mistake. It's like they're spelt differently, like completely differently, but just that K.
Yep. Throws you off every time. KeeN decides it's a job well done. Pulls back to defend his fourth base in case Cure has any ideas of revenge on his mind. And actually, Cure taking a fourth base down there at the 6 o'clock position.
Okay, yeah, changing things up.
A little bit easier to defend, possibly.
Yeah, for sure. Now, he does want to be on point paying it. Oh, look at this. He's actually double expanding.
Ah, okay.
Oh, but KeeN's going for it. I mean, into 3 tanks, but there's only a bit of bio to buffer for this, so he may be able to get this. I mean, pretty decent trade, and that was a kill on the base, which is absolutely huge. But Cure, on the other hand, looking for a fight, but all of his Vikings get caught, or at least a ton of them do. He can take this fight, though. He's got a lot more bio here. He can actually go forward into this. There's 4 tanks. It's a lot, but I think Cure can break this. He's really just diving into it. So that's a nice fight for him. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's 2 tanks that have to defend this third base. These tanks are getting some good shots off. Gonna stall the army of KeeN, but the third base could be under fire for KeeN. He's got the air count, though. So, I mean, both these guys giving licks to each other, but, yeah. Cure gonna have to lift off that base, and he's really...
Both players might just straight up lose their thirds at this point.
Yeah, they may. I mean, good lift by KeeN, though, while both these guys keeping their third alive, but, Liberator getting set up. There's not much on the ground to defend this army, and actually another Liberator coming on in could be all that Cure needs to send this packing.
There it is.
And he's going to actually engage into it now. These Marines going to try and pick off a tank. Every unit matters in a situation like this. Every unit matters pretty much always in StarCraft. But
look at him fighting here. I don't know about this from Cure. He lands a Viking. He's got a Liberator set up. He just lost a ton of stuff, but managed to... Oh, didn't get another tank himself. That was not a good engagement.
Yeah, okay. Cure taps out. KeeN not going down without a fight.
PF Honey, you're doing well for yourself, man.
Yeah.
When you want Cure to win, Cure wins. And when you want KeeN to win, KeeN wins. So far, so good.
Alrighty, we'll get into that next map pretty soon here.
Yeah, fantastic attack down to that fourth base by KeeN. Cure just couldn't do anything about it to stop that from happening at all. Tried to double expand, but then the counterattack just did not go well for him. And we're at a 3-1 score here.
Yeah, I mean, Cure, I mean, I said that I think it would be close, and maybe it still will be. I mean, that larger map, KeeN really shined there. I mean, I guess it really just went well for him when he made that move and Cure was out of position, not defending his fourth. You got to have all the information.
Yep, that information is power. just getting into the next map here. Thanks for everybody for staying up late. I know it's past midnight on the East Coast, so if any of you guys are in US East,
Yeah,
it's getting late
wow.
for your Saturday night, but thanks for sticking with us.
I mean, it's a nice time for all the Korean viewers, but a lot of passion for anyone that's up in NA. But I want to see how this series is going to end or who's going to be able to take it. But who knows? It's a best of 7, so there could be at least. Hold on, I'm going to try and do math. There's going to be at least 3 more maps, or there can be at least 3 more maps.
Yes, very possible.
There we go. There's my math for the day.
We're done. No more.
Yeah. We'll get everyone on into the lobby, and then we'll get on into it.
Ready to go.
I mean, this is a pretty great TvT series, though.
Yeah, amen. If we could get a proxy, it'd be even better.
It's Fracture. You might just get your wish.
Yes.
You know that place behind the 3rd mineral line? We may just see some barracks there.
Oh, that'd be so pleasing.
Alrighty, both these guys are ready. We're going to load on in. I am going to have a quick drink before we get on into it. This has been a long cast.
Has been.
I've got to be casting Parting versus Tasia in like 8 hours, but I've already accepted my fate, so.
Good. Zen.
Alrighty, but this guy, he put a point on the board, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's KeeN, playing for Team Revolution.
And in the top left, it is the guy who tried to go through the entire tournament without dropping a map. It is Cure.
Yep, consider his day ruined. He dropped that one map. He thought, oh man, I thought I was going to have a good day today, but now it's just going to be a pretty great day if I win this tournament, but...
He's going to be tilted.
He could be, but still, no proxies. Interesting depot placement by KeeN.
What? I guess maybe it's for better mining?
I don't think so.
No, definitely not. What is going on?
Maybe it was just like a last-minute placement or something. He was asleep at the wheel, and he's like, oh, I need a supply depot. But he did this in another one of the games, too. He had it sort of in his... I think it was at his natural mineral line he had a supply depot, and then he just lowers it. It's sort of odd. Maybe...
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's to mess with Reaper targeting.
Oh, you lift it at the right time and it screws up the Reaper?
Well, no, just trying to, like, A-click on an SCV if you accidentally click on the depot. That's, like, so meta if that's why he does that. But that's the only explanation I can think of why you'd put a depot there. And if you were to do it, I think you'd do it at the one that's sort of more exposed. But who knows?
Fair enough.
Maybe he's just going to line his floor with supply depots.
The Reaper's like, what do I do?
The walls start rising up around him.
I want to see that now. I want to see a little trap of supply depot catching a Reaper inside one.
Oh, that would be so cool. Imagine if supply depots were invisible while they were lowered. That would be so cool.
That'd be even better. But
Blizzard, get on it.
I bet you could do it. I bet you could just find a traditional scouting paths for Reapers and set up just a little 4 supply depot deal. And people just blindly send their Reapers up when they initially hop up the cliff. And if you can time it right and just trap them in,
that would be so cool.
So good.
I'm trying to think, what would that do? Supply depots being lowered, how would that change things? I don't see how it would to a significant degree. I mean, you may see an opening and then it's like, aha, you're not getting in here. That would be cool, though.
That would be very neat.
Make it happen, Blizzard.
Uh-huh. We'll tweet at you.
Every day.
Yes, 3 times a day. Well, the person that runs your Twitter account gets mad at us.
It's against company policy to block people. Just has to put up with it every day.
Yeah, exactly. Very frustrating. All right, so Reaper battle. We've seen so many Reapers today. Reapers all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Kier actually opting for the later CC this game, going for the quicker cloak Banshee. He did this versus Fantasy, I believe, and who knows, he might have done it earlier in the series, but it did surprisingly well versus Fantasy, I think. So we'll see what he's going to be going for. Also getting up a reactor on his factory, but floating off it, so who knows?
Yeah, I've honestly been surprised by the ability of every Banshee to perform in these games so far. It seems like everyone gets at least 6 kills of a minimum. SCVs, Marines, whatever you want.
Yeah, and look at the build here too. It's going to be like a Cyclone Marine drop or something along those lines out of KeeN. So I mean, not
aggressive.
the best build and like not the best units in order to deal with a quick Banshee. I mean, the Cyclones are good, but they're going in the Medivac.
So he's heading out at the wrong time here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's always the counter damage possibility because KeeN is playing it kind of weirdly safe because he really just is relying on this bunker at the front and then a few more units. So
Banshee getting into KeeN's line. It's got the cloak. Okay. It's going after the SCVs.
There is a Cyclone out. A Raven just starting. Is there a scan? There's actually no scan for days.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. This is rough.
Look, he's killing the Marines, which is probably a good idea. But dropping inside the main base, too, is KeeN. Tank here to defend against these guys. Getting target fired down.
Fantastic micro by KeeN, but the Medivac there. Oh, he loses the Medivac.
Oh, no.
Oh, GG. All right. We've got our champion.